Sweet, getting the live going here, guys. What's going on? Yeah, what's going on, man? What's going on? We're gonna have Seed Justin on. There he is. Let me get this guy on here. Oh, did it work?
Yeah, I'm on
Okay.
here. How you doing?
Good, man. Good, man. Look at us, all teched up out here.
I try to be like you, man.
Nah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So just for everyone tuning into live, or anyone who's going to see it later, it's Isaiah Henry here, First Position Real Estate. Today we got Hasid Justin. So we got a young real estate investor, up and coming real estate investor. Just wanted to hop on for a little bit, talk, a little bit about your journey getting started. We'll bounce some questions. I think we got what, three questions each. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I think you should go first, just because my kind of questions are more like wrap-up questions. So I think you should go ahead.
I bet. Okay. Yeah, so just a little intro. Like Hasid and I have talked before. So newer investor, getting into it, looking to get his first deal under his belt. Currently lives in the west end of the GTA and looking to kind of invest outside of there. So Hasid, what made you choose real estate over any sort of other investment vehicle like stocks or crypto or anything else you can invest in?
Yeah, for sure. To me, the first thing I kind of wanted in terms of real estate was more longevity and kind of long-term wealth.
Hmm.
Obviously, investing in the stock market is amazing. I invest in the stock market still, and I still think
Yeah.
it's a great asset class as well. But it's just more that stability and longevity and being able to generate cash flow, and also the returns you get in the real estate industry or the real estate market is way better than you get in the stock market on average if you're investing in the S&P index. I believe S&P index returns about 10% on a great year and 7% on average. So the stock market does, I believe the Windsor market did, was it 30 plus percent every year for the past
Crazy,
couple of
man.
years, right? So
You
uh,
can't talk about those numbers.
exactly, right? So numbers are always accurate, and so I thought that would be the best kind of asset class to invest in, and try and put
Yeah.
my eggs in that basket and try and grow that way versus every other thing. Every other thing is still great, and I still do them, but I think this real estate market is definitely where I want to be right now.
100%. I think you make a great point there. Like, S&P 500, it's like I'm an index fund guy. So, the stock market's going to return 7 to 10%, and that's great.
Yeah,
But if you can take that same money, put that into an asset class that's tangible and it's going to return, like you said, upwards of like, 20, 30%,
yeah.
now you're doing something real cool with your money where I like that there. But that's good. Moving on, what's my next one? So as a newer investor looking into break in, what has been your biggest challenge breaking into your first rental property?
So the biggest challenge has been just the obviously understanding the mechanics of the real estate industry, and also
Hmm.
And also the big thing is down payments, just based on the fact that the house prices are skyrocketing, and it feels like it's harder to kind of save up that down payment because you're fighting
Yeah.
against the appreciation in the real estate industry. So it's definitely tougher on that front. But uh, in general, I would say it's more the know-how, because obviously there's problems, and realistically down payments are a big issue, but there's always a way around it. So it's more acquiring the knowledge to be able to actually get that first property. And that's why I shot you the message and tried to connect you out
Yeah,
there, because obviously I want to learn and obviously pick up information and the things that I don't know, get that under my belt and be able to get my first one.
that's perfect. And you made a great point there. You said, getting that education or know-how down. I know you just read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and a big line in that is, right, rich people don't ask, oh, if I can afford that. They ask how I can afford it. So you're seeing all these challenges, and it's not like, oh, I can't overcome them. It's just, okay, I know I can, but let's get the information how, whether it's down payment or just logistically running a deal. So good on you for taking that time out there and getting that know-how knowledge. So, you can dive into that first one. I'm so excited for you going forward there. Last question for me. So let's go 5 years in the future, 2022 or 2027, quick maths. What do you want your real estate portfolio to look like? What do you want to be as a real estate investor 5 years down the road?
Honestly, the vision for me for the real estate is to be able to kind of supplement my income. I want to be able to, in the next 5 years, be able to own enough property to be able to supplement my income, ideally. But in terms of numbers, that would look like about maybe 8, 9 properties. Obviously, cash flowing positively. I don't know if I can hit them at 200 a door, like we kind of discussed about, but if we're able to get upwards of maybe 500 or so a door, then or per property, then we might be able to do that. But just honestly, just to be able to supplement my income for my basic needs, and then my life goal is always to kind of have that time freedom and be able to focus on the things that I want to do and also need to do going forward. So that's honestly the plan for the next 5 years when it comes to real estate. Just be able to acquire enough property to be able to supplement my income and move forward that way.
That's great. And you talked about time freedom there. I think that's a huge thing. So once you get all the, other real estate stuff coming, don't forget that time freedom thing, because that's going to hold you. That's going to get you through some of those tough days. So, hey, that's good on you. I loved your answers and kind of where you're going for you. So I'm super excited about your journey. So you had a couple questions for me. I'd love to tackle those for you.
For sure. And first off, I just wanted to start off by saying, you guys, Isaiah is amazing. And this is free information, free game that he's giving out. I reached out to him on Facebook, and he took time out of his day to just talk to me and answer a bunch of questions that I had, which I thought was amazing because he didn't need to. So I've never done a live, and I would never do a live in general, but just because that's how I'm doing it. So
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. The biggest question I had for you, actually, the first one was the biggest obstacle you had getting into real estate, and how did you kind of work through that first big obstacle?
Sure. So my biggest obstacle were the number of zeros. So when I got in my early 20s, and I think the most expensive purchase I had before that was my car. And a car is going to be, $2,000-$3,000.
Yeah.
And now you're asking to, walk outside and go spend, $200,000-$300,000.
Yeah.
I just couldn't fathom that. I'm like, oh my gosh, the debt is going to be so much, like all these things are going to go wrong. Yeah. So it's not even raising the money. Listen, you can always go make more money. That's not the hardest part, but being able to take that mindset and be like, I'm okay with this good debt. Now, if when I started, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a mortgage. Now in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, give me more. Who will give me another one? Yeah. So I think being able to take that mindset, saying, debt's okay, obviously calculated risk and a little bit of information what you're doing, but being able to take that mindset and say, risk's okay. This is how I'm going to grow my wealth. It's been great to kind of help me get in the market.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I feel like that's definitely an obstacle that a lot of new people, like people who are new investors, try kind of go through, because that is definitely one of the mental blocks as well that kind of like gets to me a little bit. But I guess it's more accepting that it's good debt versus bad debt that obviously makes the switch there. Next question I had for you was, how do you find JV partners, and what's your process for pitching your investments?
Sure. So I'll be straight honest with you. I haven't worked with a JV partner yet. I got a ton of people in the pipe who want to work together, but I haven't not been able to do. There hasn't been an opportunity where I've needed one versus using a money partner as well. I've had some money partners before. So money partners is, they invest with me. I give them return on the money invested over a certain time frame, certain interest. And we're money partners that way. But I haven't done a joint venture where we're both either on title or have a joint venture agreement there. But I will say this, you got to tell people what you're doing. You got to talk about it. I know you sound like, like a broken record, but there's a way to do it tactfully. The more you're able to talk about it and, share your interest, your passion for the real estate game, there's other people out there and they're like, oh, shoot, oh, you're doing this too? You start talking before you know it, you got similar goals, you got similar markets you want to be in, you both have capital, you both have drive, and boom. JV comes right there. Obviously, take that to the lawyers and get everything done up legally. But you got to talk about what you're doing, whether it's social media, whether it's at the gym, whether it's at the family gatherings. But just try to talk about it a little bit more.
For sure, for sure. Okay. And then last question for you here. So this one's a bit more a personal question that I wanted to kind of figure out, but
Sure, sure.
everyone talks about finding good deals. But for people from the outside looking in, could you explain what investors consider to be a good deal, and how would you go? How would you recommend a hungry new investor goes about finding them?
Sure. So you would have asked this question 5 years ago, I would have said literally just go grab a property, throw a tenant in it, you're going to cash flow, it's going to appreciate, you're going to be easy.
Yeah.
However, that's not the case. 2022, this isn't a game for children anymore. We're not just picking up properties and so good deals are not found, they're created or made. So, there's properties out there, MLS, off market, for sale by owner, whatever you want to call it. The deals are out there, but you got to go make them. So that's being able to, take a property, analyze it, and do something to add value, whether that's creatively or force appreciation that way. There's tons of different areas you can get into: land development, additions, conversions, a straight burr where you just, you're taking it, renovating it that way. But you got to do something with that property to increase the value, and not only find a good deal, but you got to create a good deal. You got to make it for yourself that way. And I feel the more opportunities and more mindsets you have to be more creative and open to that, a little better it'll be. Let me give you one example here. So let's say you find a house.
Yeah.
It's nice, single family, everyone wants it. The family down the road wants to live there, another investor wants it. But you say, like, you know what, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for this because, maybe I see an opportunity for a short-term rental. Maybe you see an opportunity for a conversion. Maybe you see that there's 2 sheds in the back that you could rent out for an extra $150 a month to help with your cash flow. Maybe there's something that you see or that of in your niche that you can help make that, really regular average deal, turn that into a great deal. So I would say be creative, stay in the book, stay in the podcast, stay on the investor forums, and you'll find out some little niches and you're like, that's my thing. That's what I'm going to do. So that's what I would say there.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. So good deals are not found, good deals are created.
Boom. That's good. Tagline, put that on your chest. That's what it is right there, man.
Exactly, man.
That's awesome. Anyway, I won't take up too much more tonight. I know you had a lot of stuff to do, so let me just do a quick sign off. Everyone, it's Isaiah Henry here, founder of First Position Real Estate. We just had Hasid Justin on, talked a little bit of real estate, new investor getting into it, shared a couple questions and everything. If you have any questions for me, feel free to hit me up. It's Mr. Henry, or you can find me online, First Position Real Estate. Hasid, if they want to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to hit you up?
For sure. You could just follow me on Instagram, send me a DM at JD Insurance. And by the way, guys, tomorrow's live is going to be awesome. I'm going to be tuned in for Azai's live here. I know it's with JJ. You're having the next one with. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, good stuff. I'm glad. All right, guys, thanks so much. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. Remember, it's always nice to be in first position.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one, guys.
See you, man. Yeah, cheers.